The folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Maybe I should put an apostrophe by that doctor. I don't know. But she's definitely been trending because people are mainly worried about her credibility as a doctor, and how it affects the community, especially in mental health, because it can already be such a challenge. And when people discredit titles, when people discredit exactly what process that you need to go through to make those things happen, it can be extremely frustrating for those that are looking and those that are seeking and those that actually need the help. Now, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, I don't know if I should call her Dr. Cheyenne Bryant or just call her Cheyenne Bryant. She identified herself as a life coach, then as a doctorate. She did explain that the school that she went to are no longer holding records, so really nobody could track the records. But then you have people coming online saying that very much so, in fact, those records are able to be tracked. So does it matter that she's using the title of doctor if she's not a doctor? I think very much so. You know, I've had a child that struggled with mental health, and I've ran into some people that were really helpful. I've ran into some people that weren't, and the ones that weren't, it definitely, you know, made a difference in our process and kind of helped turn things for the worse sometimes. So it is very important that if that's your title and that's what you went to school for, you stick with that, and you know, use that as your offering to help people. But if you're not a doctor and you never officially went to school to study what it is, you could be giving the wrong advice to someone and make their situation a lot worse. Then it comes to trust. So if you put one thing out there that, okay, I'm a doctor, people are going to trust you for that. They're going to trust that you, in fact, are speaking on your credentials, that that's what you really do, that you say that you did, that you went to school for. So now you're creating a relationship of trust, or either false trust, depending on whether the information is correct or not. With the influence that she has, she's been on a lot of platforms. A lot of times she do interview with men. I've also seen her interview with women, but with influence comes trust, and it comes a certain responsibility, because people are looking at you and putting you up on a higher pedestal, like, okay, she has these credentials, she has this knowledge, and that influence does begin to have power. So they put a lot more faith in you and what it is that you're doing. The way that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant presents is like, she presents as someone who's educated. She's able to have these great conversations. But then a lot of times when you see her, she just pretty much, you know, looks like an influencer. And not saying that a woman can't be sexy, that she can't dress up and she can't enjoy her beauty, because yes, she is a beautiful woman. But when it comes to client trust, should you have to present yourself a certain way? And I think in her case, she should have to present herself a certain way, because you don't want your client to become attracted to you to the point where they're crossing boundaries, or maybe it's something that she do to get the extra bookings. But then at the end of the day, is that really genuine? If you're dressing up, being sexy, and you know, causing a whole different aspect of how they look at you as a way to book clients, is that really fair to your client? Are they really going to be getting the help that they need from you? Now, you do have some women that may, in fact, be, you know, jealous of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant because she is a beautiful woman, but I don't think that's the case with every woman. I don't think that every woman is jealous of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Just like the doctor that came out and spoke about how important the credentials are, I think that she was speaking facts, because like I said, I have my experience with mental health as well. So if you're going to be in that industry, if you're going to be claiming to offer that service, then you should in fact have the knowledge of what it takes to give those offerings. It's important for Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, to be authentic in whatever it is that she decides to do. A lot of times when you hear her talk, it's like her story changes from moment to moment. So one minute she is a doctor, she did write her dissertation, but you just can't find it, or you just can't find the records. And the next moment she actually doesn't want to be a doctor anymore because the billing through medical is just too much, and she can make more money on her own. And it's just that authenticity has to be there. It's like, what are you offering? Is it going to switch every time we get one idea of you in our heads, and then the next moment you're this and now you're this? So I think that's very important. With all of the back and forth that she has going on, yes, she does have a lot of influence, but distraction is a big thing that can get caught up, and then the most important message can get lost. So the message that I would say that she may want people to have is just being aware of their mental health or being aware of certain things in their lives. But it's like that message can't get properly delivered because people are too worried about how you dress. Are your boobies going to be out in this interview? Is she a real doctor? Or what's going on in her personal life? So it's just like when you have so much going on around you, it can take away from the original message, and it could be lacking in what the people who need to receive are actually getting from you, or what it is that you're offering, what it is that Cheyenne Bryant is offering. When it comes to professionalism, it definitely matters, because when you're in any industry, they have a board that sets the standard in, okay, what are you going to be offering to these clients? What is going to be your relationship with them? And it's so important because that determines if they're getting the right help from you, or if they're getting, any help at all. So it is important. And then not only from professional appearance to in the office. So part of me kind of does wonder, like, what is she wearing in appointments? Is it just, a thing of, and it's nothing wrong with being a beautiful woman. You can be a beautiful woman, but there is a borderline in what you should wear around a client versus what you would not or should not wear. When this transfers to online, it becomes a whole nother conversation, because people are not sitting down. We're not sitting down with Cheyenne Bryant and connecting with her one-on-one. But from what I've seen, I do feel like, because there's so much antics around her, it's just like I can never really get the direct message. And then part of me, like, she's never been married, she doesn't have kids. That's not to say that you're not a person that can help people just because you've never experienced those parts of life. But those are very big aspects of life. And I just feel like all the time that what she's saying, her opinion cannot be valid, because she's not, you're speaking from a single woman that's never had a baby. She did mention that she terminated a pregnancy early on. So in that aspect, I think that she definitely has something to offer to people who have been through that situation, that can relate, that can take something from her. But for those two categories, I just feel like that she can't really help or relate in those categories. When you have a child with somebody, it does something different in your mind biologically and in your body, to where you're going to change after that experience. Some women change for the best and some women change for the worst. Being a wife, it's easy to say, oh, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that before you become a wife. But when you become a wife, you can identify with certain things that happen, and you're like, okay, well, I didn't know until I was in this situation. Yes, I overcame, but I didn't have firsthand experience, so I really couldn't speak the way that I thought I could. And I just don't think that she has that type of experience in real time. I think we want to really just see Cheyenne be transparent. It's just so many layers on top of layers on top of layers, and we don't want to keep peeling back the banana just to get another version of who she is. I wish that she would just be transparent. Either you're a life coach, you're a doctor, like, what are you? Where do you fit in? Instead of just doing what fits for the moment because money is being made. Like, who are you outside of the money that you're making? Outside of the influence, like, who are you? Because that's what drives the influence, and that's what drives the people to you. So I just wish that you would really be more transparent about that. I think that influence needs more responsibility, because a lot of times you have people, you have musicians, you have social media people that will come on, talk show hosts, YouTubers that will come and say things that may not necessarily be true, and accountability definitely needs to be taken into consideration. So if you say that you are a doctor, then you should be able to show that. Like, people shouldn't have to dig and scrape and try to find your credentials. And then for her to, like, sit on radio and be like, I don't give a F about this, and I don't care about who's looking for that. And it's just like, okay, if that's the thought process that you have, cool. But I just don't really see her with that type of thought process being the one to effectively help someone get through what it is that they're going through. Because, yeah, in a sense, I do feel like she should care, because when you're presenting a way and you're presenting to people with their mental health, and you're saying, I'm gonna go inside your brain and help you with certain issues, then yes, she does have a responsibility to push forward, bring forward those credentials, and be honest about whatever that is. I want to know what you guys think about this whole Cheyenne Bryant situation. Do you think that she is not being forthcoming with the information? Do you think that she's actually helping people? Like, let's say, okay, she's, without her doctor's degree and she's just doing coaching. Like, have you seen where she has helped and evolved people outside of just going on podcasts and you know, being a public figure, like, has she really helped and contribute to the culture and our society as a whole? Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings.